All right, we're going to talk about polynomials, linear factors, and zeros, okay? So we're going to kind of jump at this one and factor it just to kind of get you thinking about those factors. So the first thing I notice is that every single one of those terms has an x. So I'm going to factor out an x. So this leaves me with x squared minus 2x minus 15. Now, I need to factor this inside piece. So I see that the factor, I have x squared, it's a positive x squared, negative 15, so I'm going to subtract to find my middle. And that is x minus 5 times x plus 3. There's my factor. Okay? And you probably remember that this would be 0, positive 5, negative 3. So we want to talk about, there's really 5 terms that all kind of interrelate. Okay, and that's roots, zeros, x-intercept, factors, and solutions. A lot of times they'll use these kind of interchangeably, but it's really asking, you use different terminologies for what you're specifically looking for. Like if I'm asking, where is the graph going to cross the x-axis, I would use x-intercepts. If I say, well, what are the values that make this function 0, I'm looking for the zeros, okay? But a lot of times these terms, we kind of use them interchangeably. So understand that all 5 of these are really asking you for the same thing, okay? So we want to make sure we understand that. So it says, what are the zeros? So we're looking at what values here are going to make these zeros. Well, what value is going to make that 0? Well, negative 2. What value is going to make this 0, positive 1, and then positive 3. So my zeros here are negative 2, positive 1, and positive 3. We get those by factoring, right? My zeros up here would be 0, 5, negative 3. Okay? My roots up here are 0, 5, negative 3. My x-intercepts are 0, 5, negative 3. My factors are 0, 5, negative 3. And my solutions are 0, 5, negative 3. See? All the same. So now we want to write a polynomial in least degree for the given zeros, okay? The reason I said least degree is because I could just keep on tacking on powers to this, okay? So what I'm going to do is it's always x minus these numbers. So x minus negative 2 times x minus 2 times x minus 3. Okay, kind of put them in order. I know a lot of you are not going to double write this. That's fine. Right? So here's my polynomial. Okay? And we're going to leave it in that form. Okay? I could multiply this out. If I want to multiply this out, this gives me x squared minus 4 times x minus 3, which then if I multiply this out, I get x cubed minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 12, okay? But this next one, I'm just going to leave it into that product of binomials, okay? So here I have f of x equals x plus 2 times x plus 2 times x minus 2 times x plus 3. Notice that I have a multiple 0 at negative 2. So I wouldn't leave this as x plus 2 times x plus 2. I'm going to rewrite this as x plus 2 quantity squared times x minus 2 times x plus 3. When we have this multiple 0, that's called multiplicity. It just means that the 0 appears multiple times. Okay? And we would say that negative 2 has a multiplicity of 2 because it's appeared twice. Now that multiplicity does give us a little bit of knowledge into the graph. So if it's an odd power, the graph is going to go through the x-axis. So it's going to come up, it's going to kind of intersect the x-axis and continue to go through. If it's even, what's going to happen is it's going to go up to the x-axis and it looks like it's going to kind of bounce off of it. The higher the multiplicity is, the more it looks like that common function. So this here had a multiplicity of 2. So as we come to -2, it's going to have more of a parabolic shape to it, okay? Just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. So here, we want to see if there's any multiplicity here. This is supposed to be x squared. And so I want to factor this out. So I notice that there's an x squared in all of them, so I'm going to factor that out. X squared minus 2x minus 8. This gives me x squared, x minus 4, x plus 2. And so now my zeros are 0 with a multiplicity of 2, right? Because it's x squared. So, and then I have 4, and I don't write multiplicity of 1, okay? And then I have -2, okay? So my zeros of this function are 0, 4, and -2. And 0 has a multiplicity of 2. And then the last thing we're going to kind of talk about this is relative max or min. So we have relative max or mins, just meaning that there are high points in this graph. It may not be the absolute highest value, but it's kind of at our peaks and valleys, okay? So it's at our high point or low point. So this is our relative max. This is our relative min. They're kind of the turning points of the graph. It's where the graph stops going from increasing to decreasing or decreasing to increasing. Those are where our max and mins are going to occur, okay? So hopefully you understand zeros and factors and solutions and all these different terminologies there, kind of giving us that same concept or same idea.